It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and today's video we're going to do a first look at Corvus and Morrigan for Facebook and web. If this is your first time joining me, I do a lot of videos for the Hero Wars on Facebook and web, as well as Herowarsmobile, but this is a Facebook video and web video. We did a bunch of Darkness Falls and Corvus and Morrigan videos for mobile over the last 10 days or so, and now it's Facebook's turn. So just a little bit ago, probably in the last half an hour to an hour, we have all of the stats and all of the information that's going to go into this event and these two quote-unquote new heroes. Now, the first thing that I want to get out of the way is there are some fantastic people behind the information that's been leaked, that's been shown to us today. We've got, of course, Load Runner, and we have Big Word over on the Hero Wars Calc Discord, and they're the ones that put all this information together. They're great. They provide a lot of insight into the future, and they're the ones that provide the mobile leaks. So thank you to those guys. Without them, I would be making a video in 12 hours from now, or maybe even tomorrow. So let's talk about Corvus and Morrigan. Now, if you have not played the mobile versions of these heroes at all, then we'll act like you haven't played the mobile versions whatsoever. But I'm going to make some contrasts with the mobile versions as we work through it. So first, I want to talk about Corvus. I'm going to talk about the undead role later, and I'm going to talk about the event after that. So first of all, we have 4 skills, just like everyone: Strike of the Damned, Unity of the Damned, Altar of Souls, and Royal Defense. Now, these 4 skills are the exact same skills as the mobile version has had, with a little bit of tweaks. For example, now obviously this is much higher. This is much higher level stuff. These heroes are 130 instead of 120. Mobile is 120. Max level Corvus on Facebook is going to be 130. So keep that in mind. This is 10 levels greater. So Strike of the Damned states that Corvus will deal damage to the enemy front line, temporarily decreasing all defenses, armor, magic defense, and dodge. And increases by 10% for each undead ally. And I'll talk about the undead mechanic here in a little bit. So it's an attack with a lot of physical damage modifier, a ton, but it also decreases your defenses, your armor, magic defense, and dodge. Now on Facebook here, we can see it does 50,900 damage on mobile. It does 19,000 damage. Like I said, it's 10 levels higher, but is it really almost triple the damage? Double and then some? Well, it is, but I think they nerfed a little bit the dodge, magic defense, and armor decrease. So you can see here at max, it does 7,040. So it's basically armor and magic penetration of 740 to the enemy's front line, and it erases 740 dodge, which is a big deal because considering how low dodge heroes have in the dodge stat overall. So this is a very strong frontline ability, very strong. Second ability, Unity of the Damned. Corvus increases his undead allies' physical and magical attack for 10 seconds. So this is only undead allies. Same skill on mobile. However, it's 8,000, a little over 8,000 on mobile, and it's 11,000 and then some on Facebook. Basically the same stat. But this right here, this Altar of Souls, this is the big controversial skill that has got so many people up in disappointment. It's causing people to quit left and right. Corvus conjures an altar in the center of his team. The altar deals pure damage to the enemy heroes whenever they deal damage to allied heroes. The altar's health decreases when allies take damage. So a couple of things. This altar is going to be conjured in the center, similar to Martha's totem, and whenever your team takes damage, the altar will instantly counterattack, and deal pure damage to that hero that's attacking, right? Deal pure damage to the enemy. So, this is a strong counter to Area of Effect. But I want you to take a look at this. This ability was nerfed heavily from the mobile version. So the altar damage is 10,000 per hit. So you deal 10,000 damage. I'm sorry. Anytime any of your heroes take damage, 1 damage or 1,000,000 damage, the enemy that attacked you will take 10,000 pure damage. On mobile, it's 15,000 damage. 15,000 damage. So even though Corvus here on Facebook is 10 levels higher, This one does 5,000 damage or less per hit. That's a 33% nerf to this skill over the mobile version of the game. And this skill, this one single skill, is the reason why a lot of people are getting really upset that their Kira teams are getting wrecked, that their Ginger teams, their area of effect teams, their burn teams are getting wrecked. But this is a much more easier to digest ability. Doesn't do as much damage. Your area of effect teams won't be as susceptible to this skill. All around, I think it's a good change. The health of the totem on mobile is also higher. On mobile, it's 777,000. It's almost 800,000 health. Here on Facebook, it's only 700,000 health. So it's like 80,000 health less this altar has than the mobile version. Kind of crazy, the difference there. Kind of crazy. We have Royal Defense, and when an ally's health drops below 20%, Corvus moves them to the center of the team, can be triggered once every 8 seconds. So I don't know if this is a wording issue or if it's a different ability, but on mobile, they teleport. They teleport the ally to the middle. So I'm not sure if it's going to be the same situation. Teleporting versus moving has some differences, especially when you're dealing with the teams like the Twins, or things like that. But for the most part, this guy is he's kind of an okay tank. His armor is a little on the low end when it comes to tanks. Same with magic defense. I can see that his health and everything are slightly upgraded over the mobile versions, as they should be, given it's an extra 10 levels of glyphs and skills and items and armor and 2 additional color levels. But when it comes down to it, Corvus is designed to counter area of effect teams. He's designed to be improved by undead allies, and he's got a nice mix of protection, pulling an enemy from the front line or the rear line to the middle. It's going to counter Cleaver pretty well. You have Altar of Souls, specifically designed to counter area of effect heroes. Unity of the Damned, which will, buff his undead allies. So, basically Morrigan is going to buff Morrigan. And then, a nice front row area of effect damage plus debuff. Strong ability. Corvus is a tank. He's a strength tank. His default skin is strength. He has physical attack, health, armor, magic defense, and strength. You should level up I think you should level up his health and armor first. His health is extremely low. His armor is extremely low. I think you need to level up these two as soon as possible. Magic defense and then physical attack and strength probably last. But with any tank, you want to invest a ton into their resources. You have a armor artifacts. You have an armor and magic defense book, and then you have a strength ring. Pretty par for the course there. So all around, a good hero so far on mobile. On Facebook, I'm very excited to unlock these heroes later this evening to get a nice bit of max testing in. Very much looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. So as far as Morrigan is concerned, Morrigan is the daughter of Corvus. She's a healer / support, and she's also an undead. So currently on Facebook, there are only 2 undead. Main stat is intelligence. She's got a bunch of undead-focused skills and 2 skeleton skills. Let me show you what I mean. So Army of Graven will summon 3 undead skeletons to her side to fight in the front row. And she can control up to 6 skeletons at any time. Max health of these skeletons is 133,000. They do 28k damage. They're annoying. They pop up. They do damage. They can knock over totems. They harass your enemy's team. Pretty strong ability. We have Bone Armor. Morrigan temporarily boosts undead allies' defense, increasing their armor and magic defense, as well as healing them. Okay, so this is a slightly different ability. This is basically the same ability on mobile as well. The armor and magic defense numbers are a little bit higher, and the healing is a little bit higher, given higher stats on Facebook than on mobile. But this is where Corvus's weak armor and health is kind of shored up a little bit. Whenever bone armor is active, Corvus's armor and magic defense and you get a little bit extra healing here is made up for. And this bone armor is going to be active quite a bit, especially when you throw in a pet like Merlin. I would probably put Merlin on Morrigan to make her cast her spells more frequently. This, and then Moonlight is locked to 8 seconds, but this would cast more often. And obviously this will help your little skeleton minions as well. Moonlight, blue ability. Morrigan heals an undead ally. Again, an undead ally. Bone armor is undead ally only. Moonlight is undead ally only. Morrigan heals an undead ally if their health drops below 20%. Can be triggered once every 8 seconds. So 105,000 health on a heal for basically Corvus, and that's it. And that's it. Yeah. So this is a strong heal. But the initial opinion that I've made from Corvus and Morrigan on mobile is, of the two, Corvus is superior, and Corvus fits in teams by himself. Morrigan is good, but will fit in less teams, and certainly will fit in less teams by herself, right? So if Corvus and Morrigan together, there is some synergy there, kind of like the twins, but kind of like the twins as well. You'll see Lars in a lot of teams, but you really don't see Krista in a lot of teams. You see Krista paired with Lars, and that's it. Kind of the same way with Morrigan and Corvus. Now, this last ability, the Violet ability, Necromancy, strong ability, increases damage dealt by allied skeletons. Okay? Whenever an enemy dies, Morrigan summons their skeleton, even if they are attempting to resurrect. So the important thing to note about this skill, the most important thing, is that this will block Astaroth's revive, this will block Rufus's revive, and turn them into skeletons. This is one of the main reasons why you'll want to level up Morrigan. This will completely nullify Astaroth. Well, not completely. It'll completely nullify Astaroth's revive. Incredible ability. Just incredible. And Astaroth probably deserved a little bit of a nerf. But one thing that's different on here that's not the same on mobile is Necromancy increases the damage dealt by allied skeletons by 16,000 at max, and it's a magic damage modifier, magic attack modifier, I should say. This line, the increasing damage to allied skeletons, is not there on mobile, and this is the one kind of thing that's better on Facebook than on mobile. Everything else is a little bit worse. So again, her shtick is she summons skeletons. She can have 6 up at once. They're cute little guys. They go in, they harass the enemy team. They do a little bit of damage. They're other targets that your Kark, your Orions have to deal with. And they're a lot of fun. They're cute. I bet they make a hilarious noise if they made a lot of noise. But I'm not sure that Morrigan is the first one I would, level up. If I was only choosing one, it'd be Corvus. As far as glyphs are concerned, she has magic attack, health, magic defense, armor, and intelligence. So she has all 3 of the defensive glyphs, as well as intelligence and magic attack. And with support heroes, usually you want to go with health first. Her skeletons are going to be kind of weak until you level up her magic attack. But, being that she is a support hero, you probably want to level up her health first, just as a general rule. Armor and magic defense, I would probably level up last. So I'd probably do health, magic attack, intelligence, and then these 2 last, if I were making a decision on it. Intelligence skin first. We have Raven's Skull. And this is another strange question mark for me. So her artifact is actually armor penetration. You'd think as a mage that magic penetration would be her go-to, but no, it's we have another armor penetration artifact here. And then we have for her book magic attack and health. Ring of Intelligence, of course, as an intelligence hero, is pretty strong. So there's been a lot of fun teams that have come out of the mobile version of the game so far. Teams using Corvus and Morrigan, with other undead allies, because there are more undead heroes on mobile. Teams using heroes that aren't undead. And obviously those teams that are using heroes that are not undead are probably going to be the go-to teams that we're going to look at here first. Corvus and Morrigan with Dorian, Orion, and Helios. Corvus and Morrigan with Elmer and Astrid and Daredevil. Lots of Corvus, Morrigan, Kark faceless teams running through. The positioning of Corvus, you can only put Aurora, Chaba, and Luther in front of Corvus. And so Corvus could be, just one step back, using as a backup tank. Maybe you're relying on his Altar of Souls to do a lot of retaliation damage to area of effect teams. So maybe you plug him into an Aurora dodge team and throw Corvus in there just in case some damage does get through. Not a bad choice there. But overall, exciting to get new heroes very soon after Yasmin, though. Very peculiar that they were added so quickly after Yasmin. Probably they're trying to take advantage of this pandemic. So I want to talk about this undead tag here. Roll undead. All right. So of these heroes on Facebook. We have Corvus and Morrigan. They're undead. And that's it. All right. On mobile, 3 other heroes in the game were given the undead tag. You're talking about Kira, we're talking about Faceless, and we're talking about Phobos. So what happened is you have a lot of teams built around those 3 heroes. And for whatever reason, no other heroes aside from Corvus and Morrigan have the undead tag. So if you look at Corvus's Strike of the Damned, it's, you know, the defense decrease is based on undead allies. So unless you have Morrigan in your team, and unless Morrigan has summoned some skeletons, this baseline defense, you know, debuff is going to be kind of low. I mean, 7k armor penetration and magic penetration is okay, but it's kind of low. This right here, increasing undead allies' physical and magic attack for 10 seconds. If it's just Corvus, Morrigan, and her skeletons, it's not much to it. Not much to it. Looking at Morrigan, her heal is only undead allies, just Corvus and Morrigan. Her bone armor temporarily boosts undead allies' defense, armor, magic, defense, and heal, only for undead allies. So I think the Facebook versions of Corvus and Morrigan are going to be significantly weaker overall than the mobile versions. But let's talk about where to get them. So this evening, here in about 8.5 hours or so, we have a Darkness Falls event on Facebook. It's going to be the event of the month, I guess. It's a 7-day event, it looks like. We have login for 7 days. We have get VIP rank 7. We have buy emeralds, spend emeralds, complete missions on the special event map, and we'll talk about the special event map in just a second. We have spend energy, and then we have dark secrets, and then finally fight in the arena and grand arena. So on mobile, what we had on mobile was a map that looked very similar to an adventure map, where you would go in and you would perform tasks, and they would give you coins that you turn the coins into the merchants to buy evolutions of Corvus and Morrigan. You don't buy soul stones, you buy evolutions. You buy them at 3 stars, and then you rank them up to 4, 5, and 6. And how you got the coins was you fought bosses. And in order to fight the bosses, you had to earn scrolls, and you would get the scrolls from these quests from the event tab. And we'll do a full-on event video, tomorrow morning whenever we have, actual content about it. But for now, all we know is if it's the same as mobile, you're going to want to focus on getting as many of these scrolls as you can, which is basically doing as many of these quests as you can. Some of them are going to be easy. Some of them are going to be harder. And, fight the boss, or whoever, boss or group of enemies. It was a group of enemies on some days. And some days, there'll be 2 separate bosses, and one boss will be for Corvus and one boss will be for Morrigan coins. Some days it'll be, there'll be one boss and they award both coins. And on those are the days you want to save your scrolls for if you're trying to get both. And that's kind of how you do it. And it was kind of a really, really heavy pay to win event. But that's okay. That's okay. So look for a new video talking specifically about Darkness Falls, the Facebook event, tomorrow morning. We will be live streaming when this event goes live here in about 8 hours or so from now. A little bit less than 8 hours at the time of the posting of this video. But this has been your first look for Corvus and Morrigan on Facebook. These heroes are different enough that we probably have to, rethink how we attack these two and how we put these two in, in teams. But severely weaker heroes than the mobile version. So you can be excited or not. And it's up to you. Okay, well, I look forward to seeing you guys in my live stream later today. Of course, I will be doing a giveaway later this evening during my live stream. So if you're a Facebook or a web player and you want some free stuff, why don't you just go ahead and join us. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.